Welcome back, guys, to Pirate Talk Radio. I hope everyone's doing well. It's been a rough little bit of time here for me. After the last episode, a close family member of mine went into the hospital, and I have been basically running a shift with my mom. She's been being with them during the day while I'm at work, and I've been spending my nights at the hospital taking care of them. So I apologize for the delay on this, but obviously that comes above anything else. If you follow me on Twitch and things, you've noticed that I haven't been streaming. Thankfully, my family member has recovered. They are out of the hospital as of about a day and a half, 2 days ago. Recovering at home, so was able to get a stream in yesterday. But again, appreciate everyone's patience and understanding. I did make a tweet about it and put a post in the Discord for those who follow me on Twitter and or X and follow me or are in the Discord itself. That way you know why the episode has been delayed. So I apologize for that. But again, I think everyone who's listening can understand that when something like this, medical emergency happens, you just kind of got to put stuff on hold, and unfortunately, I still had to, go to work and do my job. I couldn't spend the entire time with my family, which sucks. But as you've all heard me talk many times, my job is kind of bullshit at times. And, well, that's just how it goes when a whole bunch of other folks take vacation and you're the only person there to hold down the fort. You're kind of expected to hold down the fort, regardless of what's going on in your life. So, again, thank you everyone for their patience. Thank you for those who reached out in DMs, emails, and Discord messages. I appreciate that very, very much. But I can say that my family member is recovering quite well, and should be back to 100% in a week or two. Well, close to 100% in a week or two. So, very scary time, but we survived. We made it through, and I'll tell you this: if I don't have to sleep on a hospital couch or chair for the foreseeable future, I will be a happy camper. The hospital is great; they give me pillows and everything, but oh my god, I'm a big dude, and trying to have me sit in an uncomfortable hospital chair and or bed. I'm thankful that there was something there and I wasn't on the floor, but and I was thankful that I was able to stay and be there with my family member. But oh my god, I I I was suffering. I was suffering, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm still trying to pass 2 nights I've been back in my bed, just trying to get used to it, like the change in the mattress and the pillows, and oh my goodness, it's been it's been a week. It's been a week and a half. Whatever, right? Time as it's gone. It's gone in my mind. So lots going on right now in Sea of Thieves. Some big changes are on the way. Some changes that some people like, some changes that some people don't like. We're going to dive into them. We're going to dive into why some of these fixes that have been rolling out and what's about to roll out are necessary. And then I'm going to also talk about, first off, kind of the history of exploits. I know in the most recent Sea of Thieves news, Drew Stevens mentioned that, it is game development that, sometimes they miss things, and that's on them. But it's on the player in order to, if they find a bug or an exploit, to report it and not to use it or share it. And he's correct. He's 100% correct on that. I know I saw a lot of people on X kind of upset because they're dealing out punishments for those who have been exploiting the Burning Blade. And here's the thing. You sign the end user license agreement, right? You sign it. Right, you sign one for Xbox Live services. You sign one when you install Sea of Thieves. And part of that agreement is that you're not going to cheat and hack and exploit and stuff like that. So it is on you. You signed it. That is a legal document. When you install the game, when you use Xbox services, it's a legal document. Regardless if you agree with it or not, whether you agree that Sea of Thieves, is developing shit code and these things get through, you as the player have agreed by playing the game, by installing the game, by using Xbox services, that you will not exploit, you will not cheat, you will not hack. And if you do, you will suffer the consequences. Maybe so simple as some of your gold removed, or maybe it's a suspension or a ban. That is part, like, I know I've said this before on stream, I've said it before to people in life. People don't read those in the user license agreement, right? The little box pops up. It's a giant document of words and legalese, and all it says is accept to continue, right? And you just click accept and move on. If you actually read that stuff, you are signing the document that says when you are utilizing this service, when you are playing this game, you will adhere to these legally binding rules. I know probably about a year ago, I got in an argument with someone on Twitter because they got banned off of the Xbox platform because they were utilizing the Xbox game capture on Baldur's Gate 3 for nudity and sexual content. Yes, that is a game that you can play on Xbox. Yes, there is adult content that you can partake in and see inside Baldur's Gate 3. But in the end user license agreement of the Xbox services, it states that you will not use the Xbox game capture services on your Xbox or PC in order to record or save adult content. And people were upset because they got their Xbox account banned because they were doing this. Guess what, folks? It doesn't matter if it's an Xbox game. You signed the agreement. There's no agreement in there that says developers can't make a sexually explicit game. It says that you, as the player, as the user of that service, are not allowed to do this. You broke the rules. You were banned. And people were all upset about it. It's like, well, how can you do this? It's an Xbox game and it's in the game and blah, blah. Because you signed the agreement. And just like with exploits in Sea of Thieves, you signed the agreement stating that you will not do this. And now people are getting punished, and now people are upset and blaming Rare. Look, I'm going to be the first to say, and Drew Stevens even said, they missed it. They screwed up. That's on them. Okay? He owned it. The studio owned it. They're fixing it / working on fixing it. But the player also has responsibility to not do these things, not share it out, not make YouTube videos about how to do it, not encourage people how to do it, not sitting here posting pictures on X and social media of how many orbs they've done, how many exploits they've done, right? That's against the rules. It is literally against the rules that you signed when you installed the game, when you agreed to play Sea of Thieves, when you agreed to use Xbox services. It's against the rules. And when you break the rules, there are consequences for breaking the rules. Regardless of how we got to that point, you own what you do when you play that game. And if you break the rules, there is punishment. So let's talk about the history here and why, again, I'm saying that Rare really needs to focus. And Drew had a lot of great things to talk about of how they've restructured the team, and they hope to get better stability and things like that very soon with this new game health team that they've formed, which I talked about because it was brought up by Chapman at Festive Legends in the panel there. But let's talk about this. So here's the history, all right? And when I talk about, I know I get a lot of heat from folks saying I'm too hard on Rare. I'm the villain in all this and blah, blah, blah. They're a small team. I get this. But look, if you do the same thing over and over and over again, and you expect a different result, but you're not getting a different result, it's insanity. It's insanity. They've done the same thing over and over again, season after season. Poor QA, not listening to the insiders, pushing stuff out before it's ready, and it bites them in the ass. It bites them in the ass. So let's look here. Season 6, right? Season 6. Remember Season 6? Some of you might not have even been playing during Season 6. Season 6, Veil Shipwreck Spam Exploit. Remember that? Season 7, Captaincy Quest Spam Exploit. Remember that? Season 11, Treasure Duplication Exploit. Season 12, Treasure Duplication Exploit. Season 13, Burning Blade Orb Exploit. Season 6, Season 7, Season 11, Season 12, Season 13. That is 5 seasons. And if we look at this, Season 6 to Season 13, that's 7. Only 8, we had 8, 9, and 10 that weren't listed in that list. 8, 9, and 10. That's 3. So 5 seasons. 5 seasons had major game-breaking exploits that took them weeks to fix. 3 seasons didn't. Let me say that again. 5 seasons had game-breaking exploits that took them weeks to fix on launch. 3 seasons have not. That is asinine. So from season 6 to season 13, we have had almost double the seasons that have had game-breaking exploits, which has taken them weeks to fix, and only 3 seasons which have been, and I will put it in air quotes, clean. And most of that is because they didn't add anything that would cause this stuff, right? The seasons that I listed were seasons that they added things into the game to give us more stuff to do, give us different ways to play, and they've all had an exploit right off the bat, and they've all been weeks for them to fix. This Drew mentioned that they caught this exploit very soon, and he says it took days. You know, I can't speak to what they're doing on Rare's side and the timetables that release, but I can tell you this. It wasn't days, because we were into week 3 of the season and people were still doing it, and it was still out there on X happening. So you can't say days when it's been 3 weeks. Days means the season releases on Thursday and by Monday it's fixed. Okay, we're not counting business days because this is a live service game. It's up 24/7. So if you're counting business days, you're already wrong, because it is up 24/7. It's the reason that World of Warcraft launches on Tuesday, so they have business days to fix things. It's why most games release things on Tuesday, so they have business days to fix things. If you are a live service game, your game is up 24/7. Saturday, Sunday, and holidays count as days because your game has not went down. Your game is up. People are abusing whatever exploit that you're allowing to go on. In my opinion, this exploit was probably caught within the first 24 hours of this. It should have been fixed and patched before Monday. It should have been fixed and patched over the weekend. Period. End of story. I'm sorry. I have a shit job that makes me work sometimes 1, 2 in the morning. I've got a shit job that I literally, when I got up this morning and had to go to the gym, I got a work call at 8 a.m. on a Sunday. Okay. Business doesn't stop just because it's the weekend. Business doesn't stop just because it's the holiday. I get there are labor laws all over the place, but if you want to run a 24/7 operation and talk about making, having a good business, Drew mentioned that they couldn't just stop everything because you can't stop new content, because you have to have new content for new players and people playing asses in seats in order to make money, in order to continue on. That's good business. But good business is also when you release an update, you can't just let people go home for a weekend or go off on a holiday and say, oh, we'll fix it when they get back. It won't be a big deal, because then you've got this outrageous statistic. 20,000 players abused this exploit. 20,000 players abused this exploit. That's not a couple days. That is not a couple days. And I respect Drew, and I understand that he is probably chained to some of the things he can say and some of the stuff he can release on that. Obviously, you can't you can't release everything. You can't say everything you probably want to say, or you'd probably have some choice words for a lot of these folks out there who are abusing and breaking the rules. But you can't tell me that a fix was rolled out in days when you had 20,000 people exploiting, because someone has to find it. Then someone has to share it. Then someone has to make a YouTube video of it. I'm sure the YouTube video was up in the first 24 hours. And then it compounds from there. And like I said, people were still doing this week 3 of the season, which was just, I think, last week like I said, time is all over the place. But people were still doing it over week 3 of the season. That's not days. That's weeks at that point. Week 3, that's almost a month into the season. A month into a 3-month season, 3 weeks is a long time to have something like this go on. It was obviously unfair. Now, what are the punishments that they're getting? Well, first off, all players who got caught doing this exploit through the logs, they're having their progress removed. So any progress they made while utilizing the exploit, gone. Any gold that they made while utilizing this exploit is gone. And for the worst case offenders, we could see suspensions of their accounts for the worst scenarios. And I wouldn't be surprised if a couple people didn't get banned. If they find out who maybe posted the YouTube video sharing this, if they find people who are sharing directions or information about how they did this or how you do it, like a guide, I would assume that if they got a hold of those folks' accounts, they would be banned. And I agree completely. There are people out there who say they shouldn't be banned because, again, it comes down to rare code, but this goes back to you broke the rules. You literally broke the rules, the legal agreement that you agreed to. But this is what frustrates me, because season 6, 7, 11, 12, and now 13 all had major game-breaking exploits that had to be fixed because the quality assurance in their backend before they released it was not thorough. And I can tell you several of these exploits. I've talked to folks who work on insiders, who do not the rare folks, but players who actually dedicate time on insiders in order to provide this feedback, in order to tell Rare, hey, this is going to be a problem when you release this. You might want to fix it. I know, folks, I'm an insider myself, though I haven't been on insiders for years because I like to be surprised with things coming up. I don't really care about those cosmetics over there. Also, my hard drive only allows so much to be installed, and anyways, I could get a bigger hard drive, but I don't want to. My brother keeps telling me I need a bigger hard drive so I can have more games installed. But I'm like, I only play like Sea of Thieves. I sometimes play Diablo. And I play EverQuest. EverQuest is what I play most of the time. I'm like, I don't need a bigger hard drive. If there's a game that I want to play, I will uninstall one that I'm not playing and play that one. Like, why do I need to have, 50 games installed? I'm not playing 50 games. I'm old. Call me a boomer. I don't care. But the fact remains that some of this stuff they got feedback on. I would assume that all of these exploits, they got feedback on from their insiders if it was available for insiders testing. And they're not making adjustments. Maybe it's that they look at insider feedback way too late in the development process, so they don't have time to push a fix. Maybe they're up against a deadline and the fix is too big. But if you continue to roll out seasons after seasons with these exploits, you're going to have the exact same garbage. You're going to have the exact same thing. And how much time and resources is then utilized that could be utilized on other things that are now being utilized to fix the exploit, to handle punishments, to review logs, to catch people who are doing this? How much extra time and money is being utilized in order to clean it up, where that time and money could have invested to make sure it didn't happen to begin with? We're always going to have bugs. We're always going to have issues like that. It is a live service game, period. World of Warcraft has been doing live service for a long time. It still has issues. EverQuest, done live service longer than World of Warcraft. It has issues. Destiny, all of them. Diablo, all live service games have exploits, have issues. It's how fast you can get them resolved and how you don't make that same mistake in the future. And most of those development companies have a track record of not making the same mistake twice. Now, they will have issues, but they will not have the same issue twice. Sea of Thieves continually has the same issues over and over again. Silent boarding going away and coming back. Hit reg, we all know that. Historic weapon accuracy, we've seen that. We've seen countless issues that Sea of Thieves fixes 1 week, and 3 weeks later it's broken again. So when I look at these exploits, sure, they're different. We have Veil shipwrecks, we have captaincy quests, we have treasure duping. Treasure duping was twice, but it was different. And then we have burning blade orb exploit. Sure, as a live service game, we should expect issues like this. It's just part of a live service game. But it's the fact of the matter that 5 out of the last 8 seasons have had a game-breaking exploit that has required time, money, and energy to clean up and fix, which should have been done beforehand. That is my point. That is my point. That is what they got to clean up. So I'm hoping that this new game health team, I know they're focused on the live game and they're looking at things like server stability, crashing, rubber banding, hitching. They're looking at those things first. That's great. That is fantastic. But I hope they're also taking into account, and I hope this is the next step, that they're going to get a quality assurance team, or they're going to get a team who is more close to the insiders where they can actually help, really help Rare identify some of these big issues before the update goes live. I've always been an advocate of saying, if it's not ready, if it's not mostly clean, delay it. Just communicate it. Don't shadow delay it like you've done in the past. Don't give us a new date and then not be able to hit that. Give us a realistic date. Just because you're up against that 3 months time frame, I appreciate the consistency in getting updates out. You've had issues with that in the past, but if things are not proper, at least clean enough that we don't have game-breaking exploits on day one, delay it. But give us a realistic time frame. Don't delay it. Don't shadow delay it and then keep delaying it like you did a previous season where it lasted almost an entire year. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Focus on what's important. Get that clean and then get it out. But the history shows that we have a major issue, and we've all known it. We have a major issue of quality when key features come out, because season 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, all of those exploits revolved around the key feature that was released during that season, which means that key feature wasn't fully baked, which means that key feature wasn't fully tested, which means they're probably not listening to their insiders soon enough, because I would guarantee if players are figuring this out on day one, the reason they're figuring out on day one is because they've already done it in insiders. They've already seen it ahead of time. It's the same thing we see with World of Warcraft and other live service games that have a public test realm where you can go test things, right? You can go test things and you figure out, okay, the fastest way to get my character from here to here, which is what I need to do in order to be competitive in, let's say, the race to world first with World of Warcraft. The way I get leveled, the way I get this gear, the way I get these items is I do step 1 through step 10, and I do it in this order. And I've practiced it on the public test realm over and over and over again. And when they patch and adjust, we practice it over and over and over again. So on that day when it goes live, you hit the ground running and you have step 1 through 10 in order to get where you are. The only way these exploits are found on day 1 and exploited on day 1 is because they're being done in insiders. They're being done prior to the launch, and thus the players know exactly what they need to do when they get in the game. They do it once, they do it twice, they do it 3 times, make sure it's good. They release a YouTube video, they tweet about it, and now it's out there in the open for 20,000 people to exploit. For the folks out there who listen to this and you're not part of that 20,000 people, good for you. Because I know that information's out there. I know that stuff hit YouTube. I know it's out there. And if you chose not to take part in it, good for you. I understand that commendations are everything. I understand there's a lot of folks out there who 100%ing things is what they want to do. But if you didn't take part on that, good for you. You are the player that I respect. But it does need to be cleaned up. Rare has got to get a handle around this. So let's talk about some fixes coming up. Some fixes on the horizon. Okay. So the first fix that we didn't get a date on, but a fix on the horizon. And again, this should have been something thought about. This should have been something that was understood that was going to happen based on how this burning blade was built. Currently, right now, the burning blade, you can cash in the burning blade while being in combat. You can't do that with emissary flags. You can't do that with other things like that. They've fixed that in the past, right? Or it's supposed to be fixed. But you can't do that kind of stuff. The Burning Blade, unfortunately, even though it's a ship, even though it's it's an emissary, they missed that. They missed it. So the Burning Blade right now, people can be like, "Oh shit, I'm getting beat." They can drop their sail, they can get into the wind, they can triage, they can do all that stuff. And guess what? They can cash in at Flameheart before they're sunk, and while still under threat and in combat, while no other emissary can. It's a problem. So that's going to be a fix coming up. Obviously, the continued the continued rollout of punishments are going to continue for those exploiting. I hope those out there who exploited are prepared for their punishment, regardless of what it is. They're going to complain, you're going to whine, you're going to bitch, but guess what? You broke the rules. So there you go. And those folks out there who I know are not rule breakers because they're amazing, the notorious, the glorious, the patrons of this show, as we always want to thank them. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. I want to send a thank you to iGeffus, L-Cute, Big Bad Pad, and Skamelt666. Thank you all for your continued support of my content, of this show. I know I've gotten to meet, at least I think I got to meet one of you. Hopefully I'll get to meet more of you in future events. Like I said, hopefully making it back to Sea of Thieves Fest here at some point. But again, thank you very much. If you are curious about what you get as a patron, you can go to patreon.com/DavrimTV and check out all of the available tiers, which have different awards or rewards based on the one you select, and they start as low as $1 per month. This year, I always do holiday cards for folks at a certain tier. But this year, not only are that tier getting a holiday card, they're also getting a Pirate Talk Radio. I think it's called a parachute clip. It's like what's on the on military bags that when you would like on the parachute bag, the pole thing. It's a nice little clip. You can use it as a keychain. I put them on my bags. They clip on the bags and it'll say Pirate Talk Radio on the front side, and on the back it'll have your gamer tag. So for those folks who hit that specific tier, you'll not only get a holiday card from me, but you'll also get that special thank you as a patron. So let's talk, before we get into the big hot button topic. The exploit topic was big for me. There is something else coming up that's even bigger for most players. Let's talk about what's in the news real quick, just to keep you guys updated. Going on right now for a limited time, I think until the 22nd, I believe. I would have to double check that, but I think it's till the 22nd when the new update comes out. There is the Ashen Bottle quest. And right now, if you go out into the Devil's Roar and find an Ashen message in a bottle, you do 5 of those, and you get a rapier. It's the red glowy rapier. It looks really nice. It matches they did a cutlass earlier that was like the red stinger I can speak. The red stinger cutlass, I believe is what it's called, but it's a really nice jet black hilt handle. And then a nice red, kind of glowy looking crystal blade, and it looks really nice. The rapier looks really nice. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it. I've got some other things that I'm working on. Velios launch coming up with EverQuest, so I don't know. It's not a cosmetic that I would use. It's just one that I wouldn't mind collecting. So I'll see if I have time to get that knocked out. I think it's only 5 that you have to do, 5 messages in the bottle, so it's not that challenging. Twitch drops are coming up. Twitch drops from the 21st to the 28th. Any streamer, this isn't just partnered streamers, so watch your favorite streamer, support those small content creators. From the 21st to the 28th of August, you will be able to get the Eastern Winds gloves, dress, and jacket, along with the Sea Lord tankard. So that's kind of cool. So 21st to the 28th, any Sea of Thieves streamer. Um, for a limited time as well, make sure you check this out before it's gone. The Game Pass Ultimate perk for Sea of Thieves going on right now is a Ebon Rapier bundle. So you get an Ebon Rapier. It is a brand new cosmetic. It is a unique look. I checked through all of the items that I have. It is a unique looking rapier. It matches the Black Dog or Obsidian or Midnight set, whichever name you want to call it. Originally, it was the Black Dog. But in this Game Pass, if you're an Ultimate Game Pass member, you get this perk for free. I claimed mine. It's super easy on the Xbox console on my computer. You get the Ebon Rapier, the Obsidian Pocket Watch, and the Obsidian Figurehead. The Obsidian stuff does not get released like a whole lot, so if you're missing the Obsidian stuff, if you're missing the Pocket Watch, if you're missing the Figurehead, I know the Figurehead has been given out a lot, but if you're missing those, make sure if you're an Ultimate Game Pass person, you check out the perks and you give that a claim, along with getting the new Ebon Rapier, which, like I said, it looks really, really nice. It's a unique look. They've not done this look of a rapier before, and it matches the black and green Black Dog stuff. Next update coming to Sea of Thieves will come on August 22nd, and it comes with an Emporium update. And I'm very disappointed, and I'm terrified of this because you know what? I'm not a runner. I don't run. Like I will fight. Now I might strategically move my boat away from you so I can do some maneuvering and then sink you, or at least give a good attempt. But the Emporium update coming introduces a new set of cosmetics, and it's clowns. And I hate clowns. I really, really, really hate clowns. They terrify me. They freak me out. So, if you see me on the waves and you put on the clown cosmetics, I will become a runner. I don't care if I have Reaper up. I don't care if I don't care. I will run from you. I will sink my ship into the Red Sea and I will change servers. I do not like clowns. Though the cosmetics do look kind of cool, they look freaky as shit. The ship has a damn Jack in the box, the Jack in the Box thing in the front. And it's like a clown, like coming out of the box, like coming back and forth. The sails have clowns on them. Look, it's terrifying. Okay. I'm sure Ophi is super excited because it's Ophi and clown, but dear God, I don't do clowns. Like, no, these are creepy clowns too. They're not like happy, fun clowns. These are like, I'm going to hide in the sewer and have a balloon type clown. Like, these are just scary clowns. And I don't like clowns. And yeah, I will become a Reaper runner if I see a clown ship coming my way. Clowns. I'm sure people will have fun with this. Obviously, I know One Piece is a very, very, very popular anime. It's a very, they did the live action, which I did watch. And I know one of the pirates in there is Buggy the Clown, and he creeps me out too. I don't like them. But, if people are a One Piece fan, this gives them an opportunity to have, kind of stylize their ship after one of their favorite characters. If Buggy is one of your favorite characters in that anime, gives you the opportunity to kind of start playing around with your character. And maybe, maybe the Joe Neat love for One Piece, and we're going to get a One Piece crossover at some point. I don't know. One Piece would fit in well with Sea of Thieves, with the magic and all that fun stuff. It would fit in well with Sea of Thieves, a crossover there. I don't really want to see Peter Pan and Captain Hook anymore. Like, I don't want to see an extension into Disney more than what we already have. Obviously, I've heard Captain Hook, Peter Pan, Moana. I've heard a lot of Disney shit since we had that crossover. You know what? Let's keep it with Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's move on. We've got Monkey Island, regardless of your feel on that. Let's move on. One Piece, I think, would be really fun. I think it would be a good crossover that would, get some new people into the game and people that would probably enjoy the game. So maybe this is step one. I mean, they did a lot of Disney cosmetics before they announced the Disney thing. They had everything from Aladdin to Hercules, to Pirates of the Caribbean. They already had that in the game prior to announcing A Pirate's Life. So maybe this is the start of the One Piece stuff. I don't know. But it would be really cool. I think that would be a cool crossover. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think it would be really cool. So that's kind of what it is in the news. But August 22nd is going to be our next update to the game. And with it comes a change to one of the most used and beloved guns in all of Sea of Thieves, the blunderbuss. Now, if you've watched my streams, if you've listened to this show for a while, you will know that I've had an issue with a blunderbuss. I've had an issue with combat in the game, just like most people, but I've had an issue with the blunderbuss for a long time. And my issue with the blunderbuss is there is obviously skill involved in knowing how to aim and use the blunderbuss. But there is also a sense of RNG with the blunderbuss where I could be standing the same distance from you, aiming down exactly in the same point that you are aiming down. I can fire and not kill you and not knock you back, and you can fire and kill me in one shot. There is a big inconsistencies in the blunderbuss, and because it is such a finite weapon, you either die or you don't die, and if you die it feels bad, and if they don't die it's just ridiculous, right? This gun is nuts, and it's been used for a long time for that exact purpose, right? Double gunners use this gun because it gives them the ability to one-shot people. It gives them the ability to do a massive amount of damage and then do a follow-up shot if necessary. Where this gun has had issues, though, is it's supposed to have a knockback. And sometimes it knocks you back, sometimes it doesn't. So let's talk about what this change is going to be. First off, the one-shot blunder is gone away. The blunder will do a maximum of 90 damage, which means you are going to have to follow up with a secondary attack. May it be a throwing knife, may it be a flintlock, may it be a sword slice. You're going to have to follow up with another attack in order to kill someone when this change goes into effect. I like this. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this because, again, one blundy is something that's been in the game for a long time. It's important to people who are double gunning and things like that. But the same people who are complaining that the double gun or that the one-shot blundy is going away are the same people that if you watch them on stream or you've got some, creepy stalker camera in their room watching them, they're going to bitch about the sword spam and the sword tornado that they get locked in, and the blunderbuss doesn't kill the sword tornado, nor does it knock them back, and then they die to M1 spamming. It's the same people who are bitching about that are bitching about one blundying, right? So here's the thing. You can't have it both ways, right? If you want the gun to one-shot someone, then you're going to have to suffer when the one shot gets hit regged and you die to sword. Counterly, if you're good at PvP, which I am not, if you don't get the one blundy, but you get a significant knockback, you are now stopping the sword spam because you've knocked them far away from you. Which means you can then follow up with a secondary attack. In my opinion, the getting rid of the one blunder is something that should have been done a long time ago. With the poor state of how hit registration, historic weapon accuracy, however you want to call it, has been with this game, having a gun that can, at times, kill you in one shot just feels bad. Don't get me wrong, the blunderbuss in real life would have killed someone in one shot, especially close range. It was a brutal weapon. It was a hand cannon. It shot a whole bunch of pellets. But there's a lot of things in this game that are not accurate. Like, I know people are... Here's the thing that always gets me, is when people are like, well, the blunderbuss in real life would have killed you in one shot. You're right. You're right, it would have. Absolutely would have. But you know what else in real life you can't do? You can't X-cancel your blunderbuss after you shoot it and do a quick swap to an Eye of Reach and shoot that and kill someone. You can't hold on to the ladder, drop off the ladder, shoot your blunderbuss, and grab the ladder again in real life. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. And though I would always like to lean on the side of historic accuracy, which means horribly inaccurate weapons, which means you fire the blunderbuss and it's like 3 seconds before you can pull out another gun. You can't move while you're shooting an Eye of Reach. Why? Because, well, you're not going to be able to on how those guns work. You need at least, 15 seconds to reload the Eye of Reach. Like, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I know it would change the game and people would get pissed off. So you have to make this balance. And and I double gun a lot. I won't lie, I'll double gun a lot. I'm bad at it. But having the ability to consistently knock a sword person away from you, in my mind, in the way I play, is more valuable than sometimes one-shotting them and sometimes not. I would rather be able to make distance between me and someone with a wild sword so that I can get away and that I can eat and repair my health from being stabbed to death. I would rather that than having a chance to one-shot them. I like this change. Now, why now? Why does this change happen now? And it was actually brought up. It was brought up in the Festive Legends panel when I talked about with some of the creators. What are they most concerned about with something upcoming? Because Burning Blade hadn't launched. I figured the Burning Blade would be the one that most people said that they were concerned about. It was actually the grapple gun, which we see next season, that they were concerned about. Because it's a new weapon. We're not quite sure what it does. We're not quite sure how it interacts with people. We're not quite sure how it interacts with the environment. We just don't know yet. And people were most concerned about that. And I think this change to the blunderbuss proves some of those concerns real. And this is why. Drew mentioned that the blunderbuss or the grapple gun will not only allow you to traverse land and ship, but it'll also allow you to close distance with another player. So grapple them, close distance to them. Imagine this. Double gunner has the grapple gun, blunderbuss. Shoots the grapple gun, immediately closes the distance with you, one-shot blundy. Grapple gun, immediately closes the distance to the one-shot blundy. Now you've made the one-shot blundy even more powerful because one of the advantages of having the blunderbuss was that it wasn't going to kill you long or medium range. It was going to do damage, but it wasn't going to kill you. Now they can close the distance, get that one shot, and move on. So with the change to the blunderbuss, I can see that this grapple gun is really going to probably be big in PvP. Now I can see now people doing grapple gun sword, or there's so many different things that could open this meta up for. But had it kept a one blundy, everyone would have been doing grapple gun blunderbuss. I guarantee you that people would all be doing grapple gun blunderbuss. Now you grapple over, you blundy them, they're not going to die, and now you have to suffer the consequences of running the grapple gun and the blunderbuss. So I think this was a necessary change. I'm happy with it. You know, I've been calling for the one blundy to be removed from the game from a very long time, just because of how inconsistent the one blundy is with the historical weapon accuracy of the game. Hey, Reg. So I think this is a good idea. And I'm glad they're thinking ahead. They're thinking ahead to what are players going to do with this particular new tool in next season. What possibly awful things could our players do with this grapple gun? And I think when it comes to PvP combat, the worst case scenario that they're thinking about right now is ziplining across a ship like freaking Spider-Man and one-tapping people. And then X cancel, quick swap, stuff like that. I think they're identifying that with how our players, how the sweaty sweat stains of our PvP players play, that was going to be a big problem in combat. Is Spider-Man one blending? And I think they're jumping onto it right now. And like I said, I could care less about the grapple gun. I'm sure it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool to play with. But they're thinking health of combat, right? Obviously, the health of combat of Sea of Thieves has been something for years, has been a challenge and in question that Rare knows how to fix it. But adding something like this into it would just, I could already see. Oh, I could already see it. But I think this is a good decision. I know a lot of people are hurt about it right now. I know a lot of people don't like it right now. But I think in the long term, I think this is a good change to PvP, to PvE, they're skeletons. They're going to die anyways. But to PvP, I think this is a fantastic change. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad they're thinking ahead here. I know it hurts for players who really like the one blundy, who have been using it since the game started. I get it. I understand. But I think for the longevity and health of combat of this game, this was a very important change to make. And I'm excited once it comes out to be able to check it out and test it out. But yeah, let me know in the comments of the YouTube video. Let me know on Twitter. Again, join the Discord. For anyone trying to join the Discord, when you join the Discord, you're not going to see anything except like one rules channel. You have to accept the rules before you get in. It's my way of keeping bots out of the Discord completely. So unless you agree to the rules, you will not see the rest of the Discord. The Discord is very large. It's got a lot of people in it. It's got a lot of channels to hang out in, voice channels that you can use. Patrons have their own special channels, stuff like that. You'll get special tags on yourself. There's, if you unlock certain commendations in the game, you can submit that and get special colors and titles and stuff. It's really cool. But I've seen people try to join and then I see them not in the Discord anymore. You have to agree to the rules before you can actually see the rest of the Discord. It has to verify you. It is an automatic verification process. You have to click the little thing that you agree to the rules, and then you'll actually be able to join the Discord. So if you were one of the people who joined the Discord like, this Discord sucks, it is empty, that's because you didn't read. Make sure you read. And if there is an issue with that verification process and it's not working, please shoot me an email or a DM me. Because I will get it fixed immediately. But there's a lot of bots out there on Discord, and I like to keep my Discord relatively clean and definitely no bots and shit like that. So there you go. Make sure you check that out. But let me know, how do you feel about the blunderbuss? How do you feel about this change to the blunderbuss? Do you like it? Are you going to tolerate it? Or do you absolutely hate it? And tell me why. And tell me what you would have done differently in order to make combat a little bit more balanced and prep for the grapple gun. Guys, thank you very much again for your patience, understanding with the trying time that I've had in the past about 2 weeks. I appreciate that very much. Much love to everyone. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you next time on Pirate Talk Radio.